On the way to go pick up a bandsaw mill, New York State Thruway at a rest area along the Mohawk Canal.
21-inch diameter, that's what we can take. The most important thing here, Clarence, is right here. This is your
adjuster?
Tensioning nut.
Okay.
For your saw tension. This has to be 35 foot-pounds.
Okay.
So if you need to get a torque wrench, we recommend that you get one. At all times, 35 foot-pounds, that's what we recommend for it. A lot of customers will just do it by feel, but it needs to be 35.
Okay. Do you notice any particular pattern of stretch? I know I worked with some guy with the wood miser, and he said that after, I think it was an hour or so or less on a new blade, he wanted to check it because...
There may be a little bit. It probably wouldn't hurt. Probably wouldn't even hurt once you saw through like 2 cuts
okay.
to check it then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a particular time, but once you put some tension and some pressure on it,
yeah.
I would say probably recheck it.
Okay.
But after that, you should be fine.
Okay.
If you start to notice any unevenness in your cut, that would definitely be from that.
Okay.
Customers always call saying, hey, I don't understand, I'm getting a bad cut. It's uneven. It's usually one of 3 things. The first thing is the blade tension's off.
Yeah.
The second thing is the blade's worn.
Yeah.
Or it's damaged. Or the third thing is that they have too much pitch buildup or sap buildup on the blade.
Okay.
So that's usually always the culprit of that. But 35 foot-pounds, as you can see, this one was tested before it came in here. We got to clean it better. Just make sure your threads, you don't have to put an excessive amount of grease because it's going to just collect more stuff there.
Yeah.
But make sure, you keep them clean. This unit will slide.
Yeah.
That's going to tension and detension it. You got your grease points right here. So there's one there, and there's one on the back side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're going to grease that. As far as for, these are directional teeth. They face the discharge side, which is that side of the mill.
Okay.
All your sawdust is blowing out that side. You're going to have 15 new blades, so you'll be good for a while. These are at 10 degrees. That's what our blades are. This is a Wood Miser double hard blade. Works great for softwood, hardwood, all of them.
Okay, good.
Run one blade on all our mills here. These are directional. These are set teeth, left, right, center. So just to keep that in mind, but you're going to be good for a while anyways with your 15 blades coming.
Yeah.
As far as for some things to look at here is you can see on this band wheel when you're going to put this together anyways, you'll realize these, I'd say normal wear items on the mill, obviously your blade.
Yeah.
These urethane belts, we call them tires. They ride in a groove that's in the band wheel here. We do this because once over time this will wear down. You could feel it has kind of a crown mushroom top on here. You'll feel that eventually over time that will wear flat under normal use, but that won't be for a long time. What that will do when it wears flat, it'll want to have the blade walk right off. It won't want to stay on there. So these are replaceable. It's $40 for that little urethane belt. We keep them here.
And that's something I could do on site, or?
Yep, that's something you could do on site. You're going to just remove this guard. Make sure, obviously, you're putting the mill together, but you just mark your bearing where its location is, drop it down from the front, gravity drop, and then you'll be able to feed it up through. You don't have to remove the rear bearing.
Okay, good.
For that one.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it is you'll be putting it together, so you'll get familiar with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So as far as for our blade guide system here, Clarence, you can see it's kind of like similar to a car.
Yeah.
Disc brake shoes. These over time will wear. Those are replaceable. We sell them in a kit with the blade guide shoes and that roller bearing. It's a 6200 bearing. That is like $44 for one side. That's a normal wear item. How you're going to set these, you usually take a dollar bill or a sheet of loose leaf paper, and that's going to be your gapping.
Okay.
So when you'll read that in the instruction manual too. You want this to ride 1/8 of an inch before that bearing. You don't want it pressing and riding on the bearing.
Okay.
Basically, that's as a fail-safe. Let's just say you go into a log, you hit a wood knot, or you jam it in there, or something, something happens. It protects your blade from coming off and destroying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
To recommend some life for those bearings, because obviously water or lube or anything with bearings don't mix.
Yeah.
It's basically a sacrificial bearing. So what we recommend, blow that off, compressed air or something when you're done sawing. Any type of water displacement on there will prolong the life a little bit, but those can be picked up anywhere too.
Yeah.
Or something, it's just a 6200 bearing. So when you go to change these guide shoes, this is, well, you'll see when you're going to be putting them together anyways, but this is a gravity drop. Once you loosen the nut, the bottom will drop down, and then that's how you can get it out and replace it, and then you just push it up and tighten it.
Good.
That's how you'll adjust. Our lube system here, what we recommend is any type of soapy liquid.
Yeah.
So palm olive or Dawn dish soap is fine. 1 ounce per 1 gallon.
Okay.
That's how we run it. If you're doing winter cutting, guys typically run windshield washer fluid.
Yeah.
Perfectly safe and it won't freeze. Never any petroleum-based product.
Okay.
It will eat those up in a second.
Ah.
Your thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing like that. As far as for your post here, we recommend, obviously, like I said, this has to be clean still, to wipe them down after your sawing. You know it's just going to get filthy and sawdust anyways.
Yeah.
Light oil, light spray oil, or fluid film, anything that you may have, you could put on there to keep those lubed up. As far as for changing your blades, you know, this cover, this guard will come off, detension all the way down. Then you're going to literally be able to slide that out through without removing the guards. I mean, you can take them off, make it maybe a little bit easier, but it can be done without taking them off.
Okay.
When you're done sawing at night clearance or any time, we recommend taking the blade tension down. Don't leave it tensioned up. Stretching the blade, and the other thing it would do is if it's a prolonged period of time, it could create flat spots on that belt.
Okay.
So if by chance, if you're forgetting that does happen and it gets a flat spot, you'll notice it in the belt for sure, in the blade. Don't cut anything, run it up to full RPM, probably about 4 or 5 minutes. It'll get hot enough to smoothen that out.
Okay.
Other than that, let's see here. One thing that I do want to tell you before you do the installation process, we always get customers that say, hey, something's not right. What we did change, the video, we had our older setup on it in the video. And that was when the lube tank was on this side. As you can see this model here,
Yeah.
this was our first one that we built. You can see the difference. The video is based off of this bracket. So when you're going to see it in the pictures or in the video, you're going to be like, wait a minute, I got the wrong bracket. We always get a call every time. So I'm giving you a heads up now. We relocated this to run a bigger tank.
Okay.
So it's going to look just like on that side there.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's a little bit different, Clarence, is this setup, how we mounted for the winch here, the handle. This style right here and what's going to be in the video is a spring, a washer, and this is a threaded, you thread this bolt into the winch.
Okay.
It's a different setup. What we have here now, we updated it, make it a little more simpler. You have the handle, you have a threaded rod that's already coming out. You're just literally threading on the bolt, the nut, and the spring.
Okay.
So a lot of customers, it's that bracket and it's this scenario. They're like, I don't have the right hardware.
Yeah.
So that's what's different on that. So just to give you a heads up already so you know.
Okay.
So over here, obviously you got your eyelets to adjust your cable tension. You'll be doing that when you assemble it. Our log scale system, this one, they just moved this in yesterday and they snagged a little bit, so we got to switch that out and bent a little bit. But as you can see, when you crank it up, what we have designed here, this is your normal inch scale.
Yeah.
This is a quarter scale that we use. And how you use this is an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, 2 inch.
Okay.
So that's for when you're sawing your lumber, you can get a perfect exact cut every time. It takes into account the kerf of the blade.
Nice.
So you don't have to subtract and do your math.
Yeah.
So if you're cutting 1x, you just go to your next spot. 2x4s, you drop down to your next spot.
Across the street, getting ready to head back. It's not the most populated area, but for sportsmen and outdoorsmen and so on, this can be a wonderland. A lot of snowmobiling up here, a lot of hunting, and a lot of loggers. Oh, there's the mill in the back of the truck. Almost home. New York State Thruway in front of me. And down in the gully there between here and the hill is the Mohawk River.